January 1942, before dawn, somewhere over the Pacific, a heavy fog presses down on the ocean like a lid on boiling water. The air is cold and damp, salt clinging to metal wings. Engines hum steadily, their vibration felt through bone and muscle. Japanese airmen fly in disciplined formation, convinced the mist is their ally. Below them, the sea is invisible. Ahead of them, they believe America is blind. They are wrong. What unfolds in this fog-bound sky is not just a tactical moment of war. Momtse. It is a collision between two worldviews, between faith in human skill alone and faith in systems, science, and shared effort. It is a moment that quietly reshapes the balance of air warfare in the Pacific, long before most Japanese pilots ever understand why their missions are failing. To understand why this moment matters, one must return to the opening months of the Pacific War. After Pearl Harbor, Japanese air power carries an aura of inevitability. Their pilots are among the most experienced in the world, veterans of China and Southeast Asia. They are trained to navigate by instinct, stars, and memory. Precision bombing, long-range flight, and formation discipline are sources of pride. In contrast, the United States appears slow, overconfident, and untested in the Pacific theater. Japanese doctrine places supreme trust in the pilot's eyes. Victory is expected to come through courage, formation flying, and visual contact with the enemy. Fog, clouds, and storms are seen as shields, natural cloaks that neutralize defenders and favor the attacker. Many Japanese aviators believe that if they cannot see the enemy cannot see them either. What they do not know is that, quietly and without spectacle, the United States has been building an invisible net across its coasts and islands. Radar, still a strange, almost mystical technology in the early 1940s, has already begun to change the nature of war. Developed through years of experimentation in Britain and rapidly expanded by American industry, radar stations now dot Hawaii, the West Coast, and key Pacific islands. Steel towers, rotating antennas, and darkened rooms filled with glowing screens stand ready day and night. Young operators, many barely out of school, sit in silence listening to the steady pulse of electronic echoes. The symbol of this new war is a sound, soft, rhythmic, relentless. A ping, again, and again, and again. To the American radar operator, the fog does not exist. Clouds do not matter. Darkness is irrelevant. Aircraft appear not as shapes in the sky, but as blips of light moving across a circular screen. Distance, speed, and direction are measured calmly, mathematically. Long before Japanese engines are heard, American defenses are already awake. The contrast between expectation and reality is stark. Japanese airmen fly into missions believing surprise is assured. They expect confused defenses, slow reactions, and scattered opposition. Instead, they encounter fighters already climbing to meet them, anti-aircraft guns already tracking their approach, and bases already dispersed or on alert. After-action reports from Japanese units begin to show a troubling pattern. Missions that should have caught the enemy unprepared are intercepted with uncanny precision. Bombers are met at altitude, sometimes directly through cloud layers. Fighters appear from nowhere, as if guided by an unseen hand. At first, these failures are blamed on chance, then on spies, then on bad luck. Few suspect the fog itself has betrayed them. American radar records from early 1942 revealed just how complete this electronic vision had become. At Opana Radar Station on Oahu, operators track incoming aircraft up to 130 miles away. Similar systems operate along the West Coast and on islands like Midway and Guadalcanal. According to U.S. Army Air Force's documentation, radar-directed interceptions increased dramatically between 1942 and 1943, reducing surprise attacks and improving defensive efficiency by measurable margins. One American report notes that radar warning times often exceeded 30 minutes, enough to scramble fighters, disperse aircraft, and man defenses. To the attacker, this preparation appears supernatural. Japanese pilots experience the emotional weight of this shift firsthand. Diaries and post-war testimonies describe growing unease. Missions feel watched. The sky feels crowded even when it appears empty. The fog, once comforting, becomes unsettling. Some pilots note that American fighters seem to arise out of the clouds with purpose, not searching, but hunting. Yet Japanese command struggles to fully grasp the cause. Radar is acknowledged, but its effectiveness is underestimated. Japanese radar development lags, hampered by limited industrial capacity and doctrinal skepticism. Visual combat remains culturally dominant. Ha ha ha! Technology is seen as a tool, not a partner. For the Americans, radar becomes more than equipment. It becomes a philosophy of war. Individual heroics still matter, but they are embedded within a system. Pilots trust ground controllers. Ground controllers trust machines. Machines trust mathematics. It is a collective effort fueled by industrial abundance and open information sharing. The recurring sound of radar, the steady ping, comes to symbolize this difference. It is not dramatic. It does not inspire poetry. But it never stops. It represents a democracy's ability to organize, to distribute knowledge, and to turn science into defense. By 1943, the consequences are undeniable. Japanese losses mount. Veteran pilots are lost faster than they can be replaced. Missions grow more desperate. Surprise becomes rare. American air superiority, built not only on aircraft but on awareness, tightens its grip. Some Japanese officers, reflecting after the war, acknowledge this invisible enemy. One former naval aviator writes that American radar removed the sky from us. Another notes that bravery meant less when the enemy always knew where you were. The transformation is ideological as much as tactical. The belief that skill alone can overcome systems begins to crumble. War is no longer just a contest of courage, it is a contest of organization, production, and shared intelligence. In this contest, the United States holds a decisive advantage. The fog still rolls in over the Pacific, clouds still gather, engines still roar. But the sky is no longer neutral. It has been measured, mapped, and monitored. In the final months of the war, radar will guide not only fighters, but bombers, ships, and entire fleets. It will protect convoys, direct night battles, and save lives through early warning. The quiet ping continues, steady and impartial. In the end, this story is not about blindness, but about vision, about how seeing first often decides everything. The Japanese airmen never knew that the thickest fog could not hide them. They never heard the sound that marked their approach. But that sound, soft, patient, unyielding, echoed the deeper truth of the war. Freedom, sustained by shared knowledge and collective effort, does not need clear skies to endure.